Hey y'all, it's Lana. Y'all, I always feel like I'm coming to y'all when I've had a bad day or a bad week, and maybe that's what these videos are. Just I can't even talk. I'm not even gonna edit this. I'm just gonna talk and I'm gonna ramble. So if you don't like a rambly talky video, you might want to leave now. There's a button over here somewhere where you can leave. But anyway, maybe I do this because it's some sort of narcissistic, I'm throwing a thing down. Maybe it's some sort of narcissistic catharsis. There's too many big words in one small area. Maybe that's what they are, just some sort of catharsis. Anyway, I had a couple things I wanted to talk to you about. Made a couple of notes while I was on hold at work. And as I said on my blog this morning, and you can go to that at Hickory Ridge Studio 49 at blogspot.com. And it's just been one of those awful, terrible, no good weeks. It's not been a good week. It's at this point on a Friday, it's almost kind of comical how bad the week has been and how much of nothing I have done right. So it's just been the stories I could tell, but I work in customer service and I can't tell you these stories because it's against the law. So we'll talk about other things, but just to let you know, I had plans for this week. All the plans that I made, nothing got done. Nothing got done. Well, look at the car. I came home Monday night, and I've been doing some meal planning on Monday nights. I come home and I either make like a big salad, like the other week I made for the first time ever, I made a Greek quinoa salad. And I think I'm a quinoa convert now, and I know that's like super hipster, but it was really good. And I've gotten where I've been trying to make something on Mondays to kind of at least last me to Thursday. Salads, or like I made sesame noodles Monday night, and I stir-fried some green beans, and then I had some pulled pork I was sticking in there, and today I had some rotisserie chicken I threw in there, and then having these awesome marinated cucumbers on the side. Slice them really thin, marinate them in I think all it was rice wine vinegar, some sugar, some salt and pepper, and dill. And then there was something else in there that was supposed to go, but I didn't have it, so I just left it out. They're pretty delicious, just a nice little green crisp side something. So I've been doing stuff like that during the week on a Monday. But I had plans for the blog. I had work I was going to do. I need to update the food page that I have on my blog. It's kind of all jacked up, and I was going to update the Stories of the South page and kind of redo it and do some general computer work. But my laptop is kind of janky. It needs help. And so I ran a malware scanner that I have and got some stuff out, and I really wanted a new antivirus. My McAfee subscription is out, so I said I'm gonna get a new virus checker. And I've been trying for 3 days to download AVG, and it will not work right. One of my good buddies on Facebook kind of recommended a new one, so I'm gonna uninstall the AVG and I'm gonna install this new one and see if I can't get it to work. Clean my computer up, and maybe next week I can get some work done. But yeah, just nothing in my universe is going right this week. And this morning, about 9 or 10 o'clock, I finally just laughed. I broke down and cried. Yesterday, I just had one lady that was super mean to me, and it just kind of all hit me at one time. You ever had that happen? Just that last straw that breaks your iron will of control. And that's what did it for me. One old mean lady. And I cried in front of my boss, and I cried in front of another lady, and I was in my office manager. I was just a big old puddly. I had no eyeliner, no mascara when I left there. I felt like I'd been beat up when I left. But yeah, it's been tough this week. In other news, if you follow me on Instagram, you've already seen it, and I'm writing up a blog post about it. I have all the pictures, and I took them on my phone, so if they're not, super fancy, it's because they were taken on an iPhone 6. But I made a book. I've wanted to make a book for years, and I made some simple books in high school. There I go with my hands again. I'm trying to put myself in a better mood, so that's what this video is all about, me being silly and talking to y'all. That's pretty much it. And but I've wanted to make a book for years, and I've always admired all these bookbinding sites and these bookbinding blogs, and they're so cool. I mean, it fascinates me. And I've been reading a lot of art journals, a lot of art blogs, art YouTube videos. I've been bitten by the watercolor drawing sketching bug, and I haven't really painted or drawn in several years. When I got out of college, man, and we've talked about this before, I was so fried. I was so fried. I was disenchanted with the art world. I just needed a break. I didn't think that break would be about 10 years. And I mean, I sketch and I draw. I mean, that's just part of who I am. I've done that since I can't even remember a time in my life I didn't sketch and draw. But I just needed a break. And I don't know, it's kind of since January I've been thinking about, I should paint, I should draw. And kind of the obsession has taken hold of my brain. And I've been reading Judy Wise's blog, Judywise, for those of you that need a translator on Southern speech. Judy Wise is a mixed media artist, has a beautiful blog, she produces beautiful work, and I found her tutorial for how she makes these brown paper grocery, put that thumb down, makes these brown paper grocery bag journals. And the first time I read it, I was like, that's really cool. I want to make one of those. And I kind of stuck it back on Pinterest, and it's been there for a couple of years, and I was like, I even had all the stuff cut out, but I just kind of fizzled out in the middle of it. And I was on a big embroidery kick last year, and I just pushed it to the side. And I don't know, it just the other week, but I think last Monday I started on it, and I finished it this Monday, February the 8th. So it took me about a week of working 30-40 minutes here and there, and but it's pretty, and I'm happy. I'm really excited about it. It's kind of one of the first projects I've made in a long time that's not a sewing project, and I'm really proud of it. It's got pages made out of brown grocery bag paper that have been wetted and squeezed out and dried and ironed, and the paper's like really soft now and pliable. And then it's got some tracing paper pages in it. I used to do a lot of watercolor paintings on tracing paper, and it bubbles and it crinkles and it looks really cool. And you can scan them in the computer, they look really cool. And then it's got some just watercolor, like heavy 140-pound, this is probably cold pressed paper. And I'm really excited to get started in that. So with getting excited about drawing and about journaling again and art journaling, I've been reading some old books that I have, and one of them is a book by my notes, by Betty Edwards, and it's Drawing on the Right Side of the Brain. And even if you're not an art person, but you're kind of fascinated by the human brain and how your brain works, it is a great book to read. Judy Wise was an artist, and she ended up going into teaching, and she really needed a teaching book on how to draw, and there really wasn't one out there. And so she wrote her own, and in the process of writing the book, she did a lot of research on how the brain works and neurological processes, and it sounds really scientific, but it's really not. She breaks it down in a really interesting way. So I've been rereading that. So it's Drawing on the Right Side of the Brain by Betty Edwards. I haven't read it in several years. I got it in college, and I haven't read it since then. So it's almost like a brand new book to me again. And I'm kind of remembering parts of it. So it's kind of like an intensive drawing course in one book. It's really cool. So I'm rereading that. And then with trying to get back in the groove of watercolor, I've got one of those DK manuals or DK how-to books. DK is a publisher that does like horses of the world, dogs of the world, and they do these kind of general interest books. But they put out a book, I bought it back in college too, back when I was taking watercolor. And it's The Complete Guide to Watercolor, and it's by Ray Smith. It's really good. It goes through a lot of different techniques. It's almost kind of like a warm-up book for getting into watercolor, different techniques you can use, different brush strokes you can use, different other things you can use in watercolor painting. So I've been kind of skimming and reading through that. And the other thing I did this week when all else fails, if you're me, you're in a bad mood, you buy books. And our local library, the Columbus Lowndes Public Library, had their book sale yesterday, and then it's on again tomorrow. So if you're in the Columbus area, go on out to your local library. And I got 6 huge books. I got all those books for $6. Hardcovers at their sales are $2 a piece, and it was buy one get one free day. And I kind of had an odd number of books, and they said, well, you get one more book for, you know, free. So I was like, okay. So I found some really cool art books. If you want to see those right quick, I'm just have to go back to work. But this one's about rural Japan, and it's all photography, and it's these beautiful black and white pictures. It's really cool. So I'm really excited about it. I love Alphonse Mucha. He was an Art Nouveau painter. Look what I found! Art Nouveau drawing, and who is on the front cover? Mucha. I love him. I love Alphonse Mucha. It's also got Gustav Klimt in here. It says it's got the works of Mucha, Beardsley, Rodin, Klimt, and I know a couple of those names I butchered. I also love Gustav Klimt. Everybody in college probably had that poster of the kiss that's got the gold background and the man leaning over the woman kissing him. Yeah, I love some Gustav Klimt. Another one I got, with me getting back into watercolor makes me really interested again in Japanese painting, watercolor, and they use ink instead of like true watercolor paint. But those beautiful Chinese, Japanese ink paintings, they're just black and white, they're really simple, but they're really complex to paint. I love those. And this is actually the Horizon Book of the Arts of China. It's kind of like one of those survey books, and this one's a little worse for wear, but it's a nice black hardbound Arts of China. I was really excited because it had a lot of examples. Let's see if I could find you one right quick. Had a lot of examples of, they call it Sumi-e or Sumi style of painting, and of course I can't find one, and I didn't mark one. And then the last one I got was just simply called Pastel, and it had a lot of examples of drawing and pastel drawing, and just a really nice reference book. Had some really beautiful drawings in it like that. Just really pretty. I was really excited about these because art books are horribly expensive. I was gonna see if I could find how much one of these cost. And these aren't library, a couple of these are library books. Like this one was just a donated book. It's really pretty. And then I know I said I got 6, and that was 4 books. So the other 2 books I got were kind of random. This one I love. This is the Doctor's Book of Home Remedies. My mom had an earlier version of this that had the cloth paper bound cover, and I loved this book growing up. It, honest to goodness, helped me learn about skincare and ideas I could use to kind of help my oily skin and my oily hair, my oily hair I had when I was a teenager. Puberty was not kind to me. I had oily skin and oily hair. So this one is great. It's if you don't have this one, try to find it. And then the other one I got, which I think is put out by the same, yeah, it's put out by the same people. And it's the complete book of natural medicines and cures. So I'm pretty interested to read that. I'm all about some herbs and vitamins and different things that you can take to kind of help yourself feel better without having to take drugs. So it's 1:28. I got to run back across the road to work. I hope y'all have a great weekend. I'm going to try to make it through the next couple hours of work without screwing up something else. But I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye.